Alright, so I haven't really tested this thing very much. This is the one I bought for $110. So, I just tested it earlier on 160, and the output is pretty low. Right now I'm on 40. And... Ooh, I mean, it's, let's see, I can't remember how to read this stupid thing. 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. Oh, that's 130, 140 right there. And these will do 160, sometimes 170 on certain bands, but usually about 150 is tops. So that's pretty good for 40. And I don't remember what it was doing on 80. Let me do that now. So I choose to use sideband instead of tune because it's easier on the tubes. Oh, very similar. So, we'll go over to 160. 160, got it maxed out down there. Oh, that's the best I can get out of it. Not good. But it's definitely an alignment issue. Okay, we'll try 20. I haven't tried 20. 20 seems to be really touchy. It's got a really sharp null. Oh, it's something might be wrong on 20. But 80 watts, not too bad. Let's go to 15. So 15's pretty bad. Oh, about 5 watts. Again, probably an alignment issue. So, this radio needs a lot of work. So, I kind of knew that. But, anyway. Not necessarily a lot of work, but it needs to be gone through. Maybe some stuff dirty. You know, I mean, like when I bought this and I brought it home, it didn't even work. So, and I think, what did we find, that 11 meters puts out like 40 watts. So, you got 5 watts on 15, 40 on 11, and maybe 5 on 10A, but 10A doesn't actually really receive anything. And then 10B, maybe 60 watts, and then 10C, like 40, and 10D, like 20. So, the only band that actually work, 2 bands that work good, 3 bands, 20, 40, and 80, and actually 20 is low. 40 is pretty good, so 40 is the best. I think that's kind of normal with these. So, this radio here, I just have to make time to mess with it. I've just been so busy with other stuff. But this is the one to do it with, because this is the 101E, and it's basically got everything on it. It doesn't have the plastic anymore. Somebody removed it. But cosmetically, it's in pretty good shape. Like my Bravo, the letters are wearing off of it. So I have the other 2 radios, and they both actually work pretty good. It would be interesting to pop these tubes in my 101B and just kind of see how it runs, because it puts out about 90 on all the bands. So I'd say the tubes are probably good in this radio. They're probably full power. They're just, the radio is not dialed in. So the other 101 that I have doesn't have 160 meters. It doesn't, it's the very earliest one, but it puts out like 150 watts on most of the bands. So it's a really cool radio. But what I really don't want to do is have like 3 of these. And I've actually moved the other one inside here. I don't have any intentions of using it because the tubes are soft. I just put it here so it's out of my way, out there. I had all 3 of them lined up, so I don't think I'd buy another one of these unless it was like really, really cheap, because this one here is a project, and I don't really have time to get to it even right now. So, and I'll make a video when I do that. I know there's a lot of people that really like these radios, and they're fairly easy to work on. Sometimes you can get one that's really boogered up, like my friend Kevin got one that's pretty bad. And the pre-selector coils are all melted, and he's basically, at a standstill until he gets parts. So there's nothing he can do. But for the most part, a lot of these are really boogered up out there because of 11 meter use. They were very popular on 11. And when you're hard on the radio on 11 and you're running AM, that's what burns up stuff. And it's amazing that these things have survived as long as they have, actually. Because there's a lot of hams that don't know how to use these either. So, anyway, the tubes in these are really easy to screw up. Really easy. So, they're not like my favorite radio for that kind of thing. I prefer to have the next one up, the ZD, the 901, the 902, that sort of thing. Or just completely all the way solid state. I'm kind of getting burned out on these tube radios. Plus, they're kind of dangerous to work on. They can kill you. You're less likely to get killed working on a solid state radio. I suppose that it's probably possible. Some of these new radios have 40, 50 volts and, MOSFET stuff on them, and some of the 200 watt radios maybe. But, these here have 700 to 900 volts on the plate. So, and it's DC. So it'll definitely take you out if you touch it wrong. Of course, the 120 volt lamp socket can take you out too. So, Anyway, if you're going to work on one of these, just be careful, It's not worth your life to work on one of these radios. And I've been shocked before by these things, and it doesn't really actually feel good. So, you end up with burn marks and stuff, and, And if you touch something like this, like 3,000 plate volts, you're probably not going to live. And if you do, you might, and you're going to have some damage. So, at any rate, I'm kind of at the point where I don't really like digging too deep into these anymore. And especially when you have 3 of them, you're just kind of like, whatever, okay. And the main thing is, I like to put them on the air every once in a while and talk on them, but, generally speaking, most people are so picky nowadays that they whine about any little thing, So, like, when I get on with this radio, I need to make sure I'm pretty close, if I'm going to call CQ. So, I really don't do that because some idiot will come on there and say, did you know that you're on some weird frequency in between this and this? So what I will do instead is I'll just look for a conversation and just tune to them, and then, maybe the radio moves a little bit and somebody whines about it. So it's kind of gotten to the point where these guys out here have turned into joy killers. They just, complain about, 100 hertz, 50 hertz, 20 hertz, on my scope, it's like, dude. And we got one guy that always complains all the time in the group that I talk, and he tries to pretend like it doesn't bother him, but it really does, and I know it eats him up. And the other guy will tell him, no, dude, just chill out. He's on an old radio, But it's kind of funny because he's not actually really on that new of a radio. And he has older stuff that drifts, but when somebody else does it, it's not okay. So anyway, it kind of burns you out after a while. You're just like, you're tired of the stupid comments and stuff. So I don't operate this stuff that much anymore, There's an Albuquerque boat anchor net on 40 meters, and of course, the vintage sideband net and stuff like that. Those guys don't care, but general operating on 40, 20, and 80, you're going to get some people complaining. Now, I think on 10 meters with this radio, I honestly, it seems like they don't care. They just they're happy to make a contact, and they don't care what you sound like. You know, they're not like worried about your audio. They're just like, oh, okay, I can hear you, I can understand you. Okay, you know, you're 5'9", you're 5'7", you're 5'5", whatever you are, and they're just on to the next call. They don't care. So these kind of radios are actually good for that. So that's cool. But you know, to get on Rag Chew, yeah, some of these people, they just really piss on your parade. So anyway, that's my Hamfest 101, and once in a while I'll put it on, maybe make a video, and then eventually I'll tear it apart. I need to use it for a little bit just to kind of see if it's got any other issues. Thanks for watching.